Tonight's show, we're going to meet some of the stars and experts in word-of-mouth marketing. The ambassador of enthusiasm, John Smart, and product expert, Val Weekly. We'll see just how many items in your shopping trolley can be replaced by an advanced live foods order. We'll find out how the head office computer can earn you more money. And we'll talk to more experts in word-of-mouth marketing, Keith and Colleen Jenke, and Jerry and Sandy Crockford. All this and more on The Lifestyle Show. And now your host, Colin Pearce.
Everybody? That's wonderful. That Darryl Lloyd is some motivator, isn't he? Did you hear about the lady who didn't want to be in our business anymore because her cat didn't like Waylight? And her group director went around to her house to find out what the problem was, and she found that the poor, nearsighted woman had been feeding the poor old cat bread mix for 6 months. It was shameful too. I met a couple of people at a meeting the other night, and they'd just been married, and he didn't know much about cooking, and he discovered that his wife didn't cook very well either. In fact, he had a few problems. He said to me, "We just had tea tonight. I think I made a bit of a mistake at dessert because I told her the cheesecake she made was delicious, and she made me drink 4 more glassfuls." Poor guy. I know how he feels. Well, calm down. And you all heard about the man who didn't want to join our business because he didn't want to pay more tax, right? Yes. Oh, you've met him, have you? Yes. Boy, he gets around. Well, he still hasn't joined the business. Well, I want you to stay right with us because tonight we're going to have a fabulous program. Jerry, you were great, thank you.
Thanks. Can I go now?
No, you better stay there. We might need you.
Oh, has anyone got a packet of sandwiches? Starving.
Yeah. Don't be cheeky. Thank you. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break and interview all these good people. That's good.
As you watch The Lifestyle Show, find the Personal Advancement section in your career manual. This has a questionnaire in it, and you'll find the answers to the questions as the show progresses. Once you have completed the questions, send your claim form to your group director, and you will be awarded your Advanced Way of Life degree.
Is that okay? Can you guys see that? What? No. How many of you have got your Advanced Way of Life degree? Look at them all. Millions of them. Great, and I've got mine, of course, because I wrote the script and set the questions, and there you go. And I've had mine made out of my own personal name. There it is, Mr. Wolf Grod. Oh, well, OK. I got it off the office wall. You happy now? I want you to meet our very first guests. The man was a marketing manager in a shopping centre after a very good career in radio. Somebody showed him the word-of-mouth marketing business, and after a year or so, he became one of the company's business consultants. His wife calls herself a retired school teacher. I want you to make welcome Mr. and Mrs. Jerry and Sandy Crockford. Why on earth do you call yourself a retired school teacher?
Because I am, Cole. I always wanted to give up teaching while I still enjoyed it. And our business enabled us to do that.
It's funny, the day she left work, it was, you know, it was with sort of mixed emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, joy and happiness.
I'm going to ask you a question in a moment. I'll give you a couple of seconds think time, then I'm going to ask the people in the audience, what is your favourite product? I'll be back. Now, what would you say if somebody asked you which is your favourite product in all our great range of products? There's your think time. What is the answer?
Well, Cole, of all the things they send out from that building, I think the thing I look forward to most would be the monthly bonus cheque.
Figures. Yes, and yours?
The cash for nice clothes and a nappy service for my baby.
Mm-hmm. Somehow I'm not surprised to hear them say that. I guess everybody would be a little trapped and talk about Waylight or Heightened Broad Bread or whatever. You've always felt that way, haven't you, that the real product of our business isn't in the bags?
We've always felt that way, but in the early days when we started, we didn't communicate that to other people. We were excited. I remember when we first saw the idea, we thought, wow, this is a way we can own our own home and get the yacht and have Sandy give up work. But we made the mistake then of not sharing that excitement of the business possibility with other people. So we told other people about the products in the packet instead of sharing our excitement.
That's right. We wondered why they didn't get excited like we were, but we weren't showing them the same thing.
That's right. And I think, remember that couple we showed in Rockhampton that really brought it home to us? It was a real clear illustration of where we're how we
Yes, it
could
was
do
a
it.
young couple we were sharing the business with, and we explained about duplication and sharing and teaching others. And when he saw the products that we were using to create the turnover in our business, he said, "Oh, this is the stuff the lady over the back was trying to get me to taste, and come on over and taste this lovely stuff," you know. And he said, "I wasn't interested, but now that I can see how I can pay off my home with this, I'll eat it till it comes out of my ears."
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, if you ask the lady over the back, she would be in surprise, say, well, he wasn't interested in the business when I showed it to him. But see, she didn't push the right button for him. He's 22, he's not interested in heart disease. All he's interested in is paying off his house. So we came along, and the question I ask is, who benefited in the most? Because we showed him the full story, he gets the healthy products, his lifestyle's improved, his family's health's improved, and he gets his house paid off as well, because we told him the whole story.
Well, let me stay with the person over the back fence for a moment. She probably feels that her mission is to help people change their eating habits, and that's really important, isn't it? And we've got healthful products, we have environmentally responsible products, family-building products. What's wrong with talking about the products like that?
Nothing at all, except you've got to look at what makes the products move. And
There's got to be an incentive.
yeah,
We found that from when we first started in the business, what we were doing with sharing the products wasn't an incentive enough for them to keep going.
see, Cole, you'd think if you look at a country which has got 50% of all deaths from heart disease, 30% from cancer, we've got the second highest rate of bowel cancer in the whole world right here in Australia, you would think, therefore, that there was a strong demand for healthy foods that could help people to get around that.
Yeah.
But looking at it, you know, in a hard-nosed way, I suppose, if you look on a building site at lunchtime, there'll be 50 hairy-legged blokes having lunch, and you know what they have.
They go down and have their high-fat food and their fizzy, sugary drinks.
And 4 cigarettes for dessert. Now, they all know the risks. They all know the risks of that. But it doesn't seem to make any difference. However, if we can show those people a business where they can pay off their home, have the children go to the school of their choice, have time to do what they want to do, part of the job of being in that business is to have good quality products coming into their home, well, you're on a winner both ways.
I guess you know, you probably do, I've heard you talk about it, the Ray Kroc story with the McDonald empire. There were the McDonald brothers making their popular hamburgers.
Yes, and there were lines of people coming to buy the hamburgers, so they were in there, make a burger, which is in a way what we were doing, which was tell about a product in a packet, tell about a product in a packet. But then someone with a bigger vision, this Ray Kroc, came along, he said, boy, those burgers are really popular, there's a good income there. If I could teach my friends how to have a similar income, that'd go really well. And that's what we do. Instead of telling people about the product in the packet, we say to our friends, would you like us to teach you how to drive the car of your choice? Would you like us to teach you how to be able to do what you want to do, you know?
Then there's another example of two fellows that started in the States in the same kind of business. One of them was showing people the products, and the other fellow was teaching about the business and how it works. Now, they were in it for 9 years, and after 9 years, one of them was earning around $9,000 a month, which is a good income.
That's not bad, I wouldn't mind that, would you? That'd be right.
But the other fellow was earning $40,000 a month.
Oh, I see.
That's right. You know, and that's being in the same business at the same time. Now, we've looked into that $40,000 a month kind of lifestyle, and we figure that will be called suffering at a reasonably high level.
OK, from now on, we're all going to be suffering at a reasonably high level. Thank you very much. When somebody comes into your home, you're still tempted, aren't you, to talk about your products? Somebody comes by, you're about to make your bread, they drop into your home, and you get excited and you say, oh, yes, this is this great bread, you've got to get into it, don't you?
No, we don't. If they ask about the bread or say, oh, do you make your own bread? We say, yes, it's just some stuff we buy.
You know, and then later on at another time when we've shared the business with him, if I've got Uncle Fred and I'm teaching him how to be able to have an extra $500 a month to pay off his home quicker, I'll say, by the way, you know those yummy sandwiches you had the other day? Well, that's the product that we use in this business.
Give me some more examples of what you say to people. I know when you ring them up on the phone, or one of you does, probably you, cheeky.
Well,
There was a neighbour that
Oh, that's good. You actually caught him
yes,
quiet for a moment.
often ringing people up and going, oh, it's very good.
do go first.
OK. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. There's, you know, I've rung some friends up and said, hey, are you in the market for an extra $500 a month? Well, yeah, why? Put the jug on, I'm coming over. You know.
And then one of our neighbours was saying that she was having to work at night, and she didn't really want to make ends meet to help pay the mortgage, and they had 3 little children. And I said, oh, look, Jerry and I have found a way that we've been able to pay off our house quicker without having to do that. We can tell you about it. When will you be free? Wednesday or Friday night?
And then there's another couple that we sold some furniture to make room for the nursery of the extension of our family, and this couple came around, and while we were pulling the beds a bit so he could put it in his car, I asked him what he did. It's always good to do that. I said, what do you do for a living? He said, oh, I'm an electrician. You know, and he said, what do you do? I said, oh, we're in word-of-mouth marketing. And he said, what's that? I said, well, it's a system people use, for example, to be able to pay off their home quicker. I said, we own this place. He said, gee, how do you get into that? So he did well that day. He got 2 beds and a business all in the one day. That was good.
Nippy little man, aren't you? OK, that's great. Thank you. They're terrific examples. And
Cole,
that's worth...
Can I interrupt?
No, well, I don't know why you'd ask. Go right ahead.
I'd just like to summarise the way we see the relationship between the whole thing is that if I was getting together with a friend to look at buying, say, a travel agency, well, we're talking about how much of a profitable business it is. Now, the side benefit to that is we get to travel cheap.
Or if you had a car sales yard, you'd get a nice car.
That's the side benefit. And the way we look at it is word-of-mouth marketing is a very profitable business, and the wonderful side benefit is that by being in the business, your family gets to enjoy healthy food and a better lifestyle. That's the summary of it.
I don't know anybody who really has a better grasp of the real product of our business better than Jerry and Sandy. That's wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate your help. Stay there. We have a little treat for you. We're going to ask the people in the audience throughout the program for their favourite tip on how to use one of the products. And we'll start with bread, and I think you've got a bread story. I'll get it out of you in a minute. There's a chap there who wants to tell us how to do something. Yes?
Yes, if you put oil on your hands and on the board so that it won't stick.
OK, when sometimes the bread mix is a little stodgy and you get a trouble with that. Is that right? OK. And the next one, please.
It does help if you use the correct amount of water too.
Oh, I see. Follow the directions, in other words. Yes, thank you. And the people in the front.
We bought ourselves a bread maker.
Pardon?
We bought ourselves a bread maker.
Yeah, that's cheating, isn't it?
No, not really. We eat that much bread, I need one.
Oh, fair enough. And the chap next door.
You get a much better loaf if you fold the ends under before you put it in the tin.
Oh, and it comes up square in the tin,
that's right.
Instead of round edges with a little crust on the end. Get a big fat crust that way, don't you? And the person at the end. In the middle, sorry.
Make sure you season your bread tin in the oven before you bake your first loaf.
Yes, otherwise you get a few problems with that first loaf. Now, Jerry, you've got a product tip?
Yeah, you've got to be careful. It's good to put the bread out somewhere warm while it rises. And we heard of one lady, she was making bread and she put it out in the sun on the back step at home. And while she's in the kitchen, the puppy came and ate the bread. And that was all very well, except, of course, it continued to roll. So she had to take the puppy into the vet, and I said she should have just turned the whole affair inside out and had a hot dog.
You're a bad man. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this little break, and we'll be interviewing some more wonderful people. Thank you.
The word is out. The most successful members are those who subscribe to the book and tape program. Each month, you receive 4 audio cassettes filled with inspirational and motivational ideas. There are personal stories where other members tell you in their own words how they reach their goals, and they reveal their best success secrets. Tapes will not be repeated. So, enroll now so you don't miss out on this month's Great Ideas. The books, which are released 6 times a year, are carefully chosen to give you sound direction and encouragement. A variety of popular authors is chosen to give you a broad range of positive reading material. Enroll in the program today. There is a flyer in your welcome pack and a clip-out coupon in your Day 1 book with full details on how to join.
Imagine holding this much cash in your hand. Wouldn't it be nice to give some away to a friend who needed help? Wouldn't it be nice to buy yourself some new clothes or pay off a credit commitment early? It could be yours if you have the most new business in any calendar month. Just by introducing new people personally, helping them to place orders, and helping them to introduce others who do the same, you could be in the list of top producers for the month. Cash awards range from $100 to $1,000 for the top producer. This bonus is paid on top of your normal group bonus. Look in your career manual right away for full details about the National Top Producer Award.
5, 4, 3, 2,
You do a much better job than the floor manager. Take that. Nearly pushed him over. There is only one John Smart. When they made him, they threw away the mould. Many people might be grateful for that. He holds the world record for being able to talk under wet concrete with a mouthful of anything, usually food, and leave you wanting more. Not more food, that is. You get plenty of that while he's talking to you. Look, he's a very enthusiastic eater. The other day I was talking to him and he leaned over and he took a bite right out of his own ear. It was an amazing feat. John Smart is well known to thousands of people across Australia in the word-of-mouth marketing business. He's somebody who's earned the title of Australia's Ambassador of Enthusiasm. He's loved by those thousands and he's earned both titles. Please welcome the most loved man in the business and the Ambassador of Enthusiasm, Mr. John Smart. There you go. Thank you. That's good. I think they like you, Johnny Smart.
Yeah, certainly running off pretty well at the mouth there, Cole. That's great.
Well, taken from an expert, I can appreciate
I've trained you well, yep.
If you wanted to say two things to us from the field, as you call it, where you go and you meet people and you stay in their homes and eat with them, you just love people. What do you want to tell us about the business?
Well, two key things stick in my mind. The first one is to keep renewing the fire in your belly as to the personal why that you got into the business for.
Like Jerry and Sandy were saying before.
Exactly. And the other thing is, probably the most important business building tip, is to stay in touch with your line of support, your role model director.
Good. OK. I want to move on to the wonderful work of Florence Latour and have you explain it to us. Florence is well known to many of our people because she's spoken at conferences and her books are in the book and tape program and you can buy them from the back of the order program. She's got a terrific way of looking at personalities. Tell us why it's important to understand her system.
Well, it's become important, number one, to myself and many others because it helps you understand yourself better, your strengths and weaknesses. And because we're in a people business, by the law of attraction, you're getting people to come towards you, you can understand them better, and therefore you have a win-win. OK, I'm interested. Tell us about the four personalities then. Well, we firstly have the phlegmatic person. Person likes to do things pretty easy, no hassle, just rocks along. The other person's the melancholy, the person who really wants to do it perfect, just to do it really, really right, you know? Then we have the sanguine person who basically leads by their mouth, talks along and just has a fair bit of fun.
I don't know anybody like that. Why don't you laugh at that? Go on.
And then we have the choleric person, the person who likes to take control of things and really, you know, lead from the front very strongly.
All righty. Now, Florence has some different names from those old Greek terms. What does she call them?
Well, the phlegmatic person we'd call peaceful. Very peaceful, harmonious type person. The melancholy, we'd call them perfect, or they'd like to be. They like to do things that way.
Do they think they're perfect?
Well, interestingly enough, no. They tend to, because they can't quite match up to that level, they tend to run themselves down a bit, interestingly enough.
Now, these are unique blends. I've heard you say that word before. Let's just pause for a moment in the naming of them and explain a unique blend.
Yeah, I think it's really crucial to realise we were born with a temperament blend. We're all unique, and we do have a blend. Maybe half and half of the different temperaments are 80-20, and we are unique.
So a person who's a melancholy who would like to be perfect and a choleric at the same time is likely to think they are perfect, right?
That's not bad, that's not bad. Yeah, pretty close.
OK, so that takes us to the choleric person.
No, the sanguine talker. We go to the sanguine after melancholy. So the sanguine person is really leading by the mouth, popular, fun-loving. So the key word that Florence uses for them is they're popular. Real easygoing life of the party.
And the last one, the choleric.
The choleric person is the one, choleric person. They're the person...
Choleric.
Choleric. Yes, you're being very choleric, Cole, yeah. They're powerful. The key word for them is powerful.
OK. Now, there is a different way they like to do things, isn't there? The phlegmatic person or the peaceful person.
Yeah, take it easy. Just do it the simplest way. Avoid the stress. Do it the simplest way they possibly can.
Or the easy way.
The easy way. That's
melancholy?
Exactly right. Melancholy, well, they've just got to do it right. Get it right. Like you're in a wallpaper room, you start inside the cupboard, you know what I mean, so no one can see they're sort of getting it right. Then you move out onto the wall.
We've seen that before. And the popular person?
Well, the popular person, the sanguine person would ask a few mates around and get round to the wallpaper about 9 o'clock at night, you know, once they sort of...
What do they say? You do it anyway? Or...
Well, they just get it done somehow,
The fun way?
The fun way, yes, with heaps of friends.
OK. And...
Choleric person? Well, if they're going to do the wallpapering, they say, it's OK as long as you do it my way. you know, and so they just go do it, don't need help, they'll get it done by themselves.
Fair enough. Could you take us through a few examples of each one of them? Because I think it's fun to recognise them in when you're watching TV or meeting people in the street. You say, oh, yeah, I got you pegged.
Yeah.
And why do you peg them? Just so you can be a smarty? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
You'll get on. No, I just think it helps illustrate. It helps us sort of just put the flag to the mast, and it brings understanding, you know. It helps you play that little game and you tend to understand people better.
So you don't go around lording it over them saying, oh, you're a phlegmatic. You keep it to yourself and say, I know how to relate to this person now.
Absolutely. It's a real personal, intimate, quiet sort of a thing. And the classic phlegmatic to me would be a late-night newsreader, Clive Robertson. You know, he'd sort of say, oh, the camera's on. Perhaps we should start the show. You know, just nothing hassles him. And if you're going to take a tennis player, Bjorn Borg, that, you know, is cool Swede, a man from the Wimbledon Championship of the past, just kept going. Never missed a beat, never argued with the linesman, just kept going. Real good examples. Melancholy example, would you like one of those, Cole?
Yep.
Melancholy example.
I want to ask you this, because there's a reason. Tell me why, how a phlegmatic person or a peaceful person greets you in the morning.
Or how they greet you?
Yes, either at work or in the home. What would they do?
Oh, they'd probably say, the day's started. Now, that's the extreme, OK? We're obviously a blend, but that's pushing hard into the one square.
OK, yes, I have a wife like that, and I say good morning. She says,
Yeah, choleric people normally need a phlegmatic wife, Cole, just out of interest.
Okie doke, now the second person, melancholy.
Well, a real classic example of the melancholy taking a tennis player again would be Ivan Lendl, you know. Didn't quite get that shot right. You know what I mean? Analysed it all, practised it 1,000 times, didn't quite get it right. If you wanted an older person, Einstein, they're facts and figures people. You like to analyse facts and figures, measure things.
They get their equations right, their theorems, they memorise the things. First kids at school to know all their tables, that sort of thing.
Absolutely, quite boring from my perspective, but we have to have them. They've got to be around, you know, because they're goal setters and they analyse. And another person, someone well known in the political scene, would be a treasurer, like Mr. Paul Keating's probably melancholy, you know.
And he'd probably have a little bit of choleric as well, because he aspired leadership.
That's right, very convincingly goes for it.
Mind you, you don't have to think that only the choleric people are the leaders, because I believe in one of Florence's books she talks about George Bush being a phlegmatic, a peaceful personality.
Yes, they call him Mr. Peaceful, even though he organised the winning of that great war, etc. He's still a very peaceful man.
All right. And how does a melancholy... I know how melancholy greets you in the morning. I've got one of these.
Do you have a melancholy person in your house?
Yes, he comes in, he says, it's 7:16, you're supposed to be out of the shower because my turn's at 7:15.
That's right.
And straight on top of it, he says it's going to be 23 today, so you won't need your coat. And I've programmed my calculator to be able to tell me the temperature in any country in Australia, provided I work it on the state of South Australia.
And I dare say that if you went into his room, the shoes would be all lined up under the bed and every book would be in place.
You know you've slept in his room.
Yes, Good on you, Tim. You're a great melancholy.
Next one is sanguine.
All right, now, a key example of a sanguine. Yeah, popular person right here in Brisbane, homegrown, would be Jackie McDonald. You know, startling, likes to use her hands, real flamboyant. They tend to dress colourfully, talk, lead by their mouth. You can hear them coming. And, well, I know the person very well. And if you want to pick up a tennis player, Andre Agassi, you know, the coloured bike pants and the coloured shirts and just real flamboyant type of person. And another tennis player would be Jimmy Connors. I mean, you know, if he really expresses it, he wins a point, he goes, wow! Like that, you know. Really very, very expressive.
You've got him down well. You've been practising.
Yeah, typical sanguine.
Now, how do you find a sanguine or a popular greets you in the morning?
How they greet him? Well, they'd probably come bursting to the door saying, oh, look, I'm sorry I'm late. It was a great movie last night, but boy, today's going to be fantastic.
I've seen it 1,000 times. OK. And now let's do the melancholy, the choleric person.
The choleric person, if you're going to take a good example, I can't think of a better one. What just first comes to mind is that great statesman Winston Churchill. You know, all the problems, Hitler, the war's on, he says, well, we're never going to give up. We're going to make it. Hitler, get out of the road. We'll just barge on through in spite of you. A good tennis player that you might have known, not perhaps noted for his gentle nose, he tends to take control of the game a bit and speak to the umpire if it's not right. Would be our good friend Johnny McEnroe. And another choleric person, If you take a tennis player and you take him a lady actor, well, she certainly acts choleric on the screen, would be the lady on Dynasty, you know, tends to dispense with her men and get the men and get them out of the way. Joan Collins, would that make sense to you?
It does, I understand. Yes, that shot of her, she's so rigid about it all, isn't she?
Likes to take control.
Fantastic. So how does a choleric person greet you in the morning?
Well, a choleric person, I reckon, would greet you in the morning by saying, "Go ahead, make my day."
That's fantastic. And if you don't make their day?
Well, they'd probably shoot you anyway.
That's how it operates. How do you recognise somebody like this in our business, know how to relate to them and encourage them to be in the business?
Could I just use a career manual?
Yeah.
Well, if we take the career manual, and even if you started with the phlegmatic person, they're dear, quiet, and by the way, you overlook a phlegmatic person to your detriment. They're very loyal, harmonious, like to sort out strife, etc. They will just end up it quietly over on the side of the room. You wouldn't even know it's there. A melancholy person, this is how you tell them. They'd sort of come up to you one night at a meeting and say, "Look, I've been studying page G1 now for 3 weeks, and the 7th line down here, I just can't get it right." They need to be convinced, but by the way...
And they read all the details on the order form and want to know what the details mean.
They read everything and they need to be convinced, but once they've been convinced, they'll stay in the business forever. You can just give them the steps and they'll go do it.
So it's important to find out what sort of personality a person has, so you don't go convincing a phlegmatic who wants it the easy way.
Exactly, otherwise you can chase them away from the business. It's the law of attraction, and you can learn the temperaments and learn how not to push people away, how to work their strengths. You want to know what a sanguine would do with a career manual?
Yes.
Well, basically, if you said, "Oh, Mr. Sanguine, what do you do about with the career manual?" He said, "Oh, is there a career manual?" Because he just liked to know when the next function, meeting, and where the fun stuff is, you know.
Okay.
And, so he has to buckle down a bit.
And the
choleric person,
choleric,
they'd sort of have it under the arm and say,
"Got it your way now. You notice I'm saying choleric.
Yeah,
so you're very persuasive, you populace, aren't you?
You're doing it well, you're doing well. Yeah, well, the choleric says, "Listen, I can do this business by myself, thank you. I've got the manual under my arm, it's okay."
They don't necessarily read it either, do they?
No, but they'll just go and do it their own way and run over a few people in the process. However, all jokes aside, they make great leaders. They really do. They make wise, strong, quick decisions.
Yes, fantastic. You really understand this well. I've heard that you can judge what sort of person they are by looking at their faces.
Yes, you can, interestingly enough. I've got some photos here, Cole, and it's interesting. See this person here?
I just get a load of that.
It's obvious. It's obvious in looking at that photo, that person is highly intelligent, absolutely born to be successful at the absolute top of the tree.
Wait a minute. It says on the back of this photograph, this is a picture of John Smart.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
well,
next, please.
Well, this photo here, just looking at it, can tell you many, many things. This person is born to be the little Aussie achiever, right? Absolute marketing manager type. He's just going to go out with a deal. He's going to attract a lady with sort of black hair and man. They're going to drive Mazdas and going to take the world by storm.
Thank you, Jerry Crockford. Next.
Okay.
Oh, have a look at this. He still looks the same.
Right.
I've never seen him without a tie, though. This is...
that photo's very obvious to you now. That person's obviously destined to manage a company. You can tell by their aggressive business dress they've got there.
This is Mr. Managing Director Neil Reid. Look at it.
Have a look at that one. Now, I can tell just by looking at that photo that person's born to organise the flamboyant conventions and keep all our emotions running very, very high at our functions.
So that's got to be a choleric and the...
sanguine in him as well.
A bit of sanguine, a bit of choleric.
Darryl Lloyd, obviously.
There he is. And you can tell he's choleric because... just look at this. You can tell he's choleric because he's got the head of the kid next door in his hands.
Look,
beautiful, John.
A lot of folk would ask me, how can you determine what your unique blend is? Is it okay for me to tell you that?
Yes.
Florence's books, particularly the Personality Plus, you can do the test in the back and discover your own unique blend. Okay, and along with this book here, the Personality Tree, that goes into a little bit more depth and it explains all the words in the test so you can get it right.
Fantastic.
Highly recommend you can get them on the back of your order form.
John Smart, you're a wonderful fella for a sanguine, and we'd like to thank you for coming here. Thank you for being in our business and in our lives. You won a great place in our hearts. Let's give him a big round of applause, and we'll be right back in a minute. We have some product tips from these people. John, from one of your favourite products of our business, apart from the main product, which is your dream and opportunity. We're going to talk about Waylight. I think there's a man in the first row who's all primed up.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to put the lid on the jug before you shake it.
Smart, Alec.
Real sing-on character there.
Next one.
You need to have the jug absolutely clean, particularly around the top and the lid, so you don't get a bacterial build-up.
Oh, that's a melancholy
Gee,
statement.
real melancholy detail. Great stuff.
And the next, please.
You put the water in the jug and put the powder on top, and with a hand mixer you just mix it up and then fill the jug with water.
Well, what about an electric mixer?
Oh, well, if you like to get it out of the cupboard, this is much quicker.
There's a phlegmatic person. You want to do it the easy
Yeah, take
way.
it easy. Good stuff.
I'm learning. I've got this.
Planned, well
Next,
planned.
please.
I always find the flavour's improved if you make it up the night before you want to use it.
The way she says I was and I find,
Yes,
it's a
mate.
choleric kind of way to say it, isn't it? Do it my way.
Do it my way, yes.
And the quiet little gentleman next door?
Oh, in the hot weather, be sure to keep it refrigerated.
OK, because that's important. Not to leave it out as well. Next, please.
It's always better to shake the Waylight before you pour it into a glass, especially the flavours.
Good, otherwise the chocolate all stays in the bottom. Thank you very much. People, give them a round of applause.
You'll find Florence Littau's personality books on your order form where you can get the information in plain English. We recommend you read Personality Plus first. All the charts and diagrams are explained in easy-to-read terms. You can take the test yourself and work out your own unique personality blend along with those of your family and friends. It's fun, it's practical. It gives you a sound basis on which to build better relationships. Your personality tree takes you further into the subject and helps you to put the concepts to work on a day-to-day basis. Order them both today. Hundreds of our members spend most of the year preparing for the great overseas breakaway, and why not? The stories and excitement from Vanuatu spurred many more enthusiastic members on to Singapore and beyond. If you pay your own way, you will have a great time. But when you qualify for the overseas breakaway, all expenses paid by the company, even part paid, it will be the trip of your life. The plans and steps are laid out in the brochures and the monthly magazine. Circle the dates in your diary, get your passport ready, arrange to have the children stay with Grandma, and dust off your luggage. You're breaking away overseas with one of Daz's exciting adventures.
Wonderful. We're having a great time here, and I hope you're enjoying this as well. In the next segment, we're crossing live via satellite to 24 Devlin Street, where we're going to meet Scott McClintock. Scott there, is he? Scott? Good, you're looking wonderful. Doesn't he look fantastic? The only man I know with a 100 megabyte brain and a 64 kilobyte body. Oh, I'm sorry. He's all hurt now. We're going to ask Scott a couple of questions about the order form, and I think we should start by getting Scott to explain to us. Scott, what do the letters PV stand for?
PV stands for point value. When each product is released, it is assigned a point value. For example, a packet of Waylight Malt Supreme has 8 points. A packet of Country Grain Bread Mix has 7 points. You add your point values up in order to determine your bonus. 100 points is 4%, 250 points 6%, 500 points 8%, and so on.
Now, Scott, a lot of people add up their points value and then calculate their 4% or their 8% or whatever on their points value. Say there was an order of $120 and the points value of that would be about 100. They add that up and say, good, I'm going to get 4% of $120, about $4 something or other. But that's not quite right, is it?
Well, you have to take into account CV. CV stands for compensation value. It's a measure which is calculated when we have taken into account the expenses and overheads involved in running the business. That $120 order that we were talking about before, it has approximately 90 CV on it. So you take 4% of the 90 CV, which comes out at around about $3.80.
Good. You got that? You calculate your bonus on your CV, not your PV. Righto, Scott. How do you get more money?
Well, you could place bigger orders, but there's a limit to what you can eat, obviously. So you can introduce other people to the business. And as they place orders, those orders go together with your orders, and so the company pays you a bigger bonus.
Good. Scott's doing a great job, isn't he, for a melancholy, wouldn't you think? Well, I'm glad you're in charge of it, Scott. We really need somebody like you there, the perfect person working on it. Now, we're going to talk about group bonuses more ourselves in a second, but you could explain to us how you've programmed the company computer to be able to help us earn more money. Talk about the first way.
Firstly, you can ring up the company and the operators can tell you how many points you and your group have so far this month. That way, you can see if you're close to 250 points. If you can place a small order, you can go from 4% to 6%. Perhaps you have a bigger group and a small order could take you from 16% to 20% and hence earn more money.
Well, that's an important service. How many of you use that? Yeah. Oh, good on you. It's important to know that that's best available or only available between 9 to 5 office hours in Queensland. The after-hours service is there for placing orders, but that's taken through another organisation altogether who could be taking popularity polls for the Prime Minister, and, you know, they could be taxing. So you will only get that level of service between 9 and 5 office hours out of the company's telephone answering system. Scott, there's another couple of ways that you do help us, and I'd like you to talk about the one on the printout, please.
Now, the group printout is a mine of information. We've designed it for the members so that they can see how they and their group are going. For example, it shows how many points each person in their group has ordered personally in the last 3 months, how each of their subgroups is going, how many new members they've had join up, who's in the book and tape program, and also how they can contact these people, perhaps if they don't know them, when they're interstate, etc.
Thank you, Scott. You've done a tremendous job. Do all of you get the company printout? Yeah. Well, some people. Oh, all of you. Good on you. We're going to interview Keith Janke in a moment, so don't go away. Stay right with us. We'll reorganise ourselves here a little bit. Please, thank Scott before he goes away.
When you introduce people into our business, all of the points value of all of the orders of all of the people in your group are all attributed to you by the head office computer. As the size of the orders grows, so does your bonus. When your group, including you, orders 100 to 249 points, you earn a 4% bonus. When your group, including you, orders 250 to 499 points, you earn a 6% bonus. A group volume of 500 to 1,249 points and you earn an 8% bonus. So the way it works is, the more group volume, the higher the bonus percentage. 1,250 points to 2,499 points earns you a 10% bonus. 2,500 points to 3,499 points, you get a 12% bonus, and with 3,500 points to 4,999 points, you earn a 16% bonus. And now for the big one. When your group, including you, orders 5,000 points or more, you earn a 20% bonus. So how does it work? Well, firstly, you earn the full bonus on your own order. For example, when you're at 20%, that means you receive a 20% bonus back on your own product order. And then you earn the difference between your bonus amount and the bonus amount to which the first generation people in your group are entitled. The good news is the computer works it all out for you and pays everyone their right amount. When someone in your group reaches the 20% level with you, you have your first breakaway and the company pays you a 5% career bonus. Watch the show for more details on how the bonus system works.
Okay. I said it would be a very quick change. We just made it. Thank you, fellas. You worked well. I want you to listen closely to the next guest, and I think you will. This is a man who joined the business in 1987 and in less than 5 years achieved the tremendous status of Diamond Director. We're very proud to know him. We're glad that he knows so much about the business and can make it clear to us. Please welcome one of the experts in word-of-mouth marketing, Mr. Keith Janke. All right, that's enough. Let's keep you calm. Do you get that group printout, by the way?
Sure do, Cole. Wouldn't be without it.
Well, yeah. How big was your first one?
Oh, less than a page.
And now he brings it in with a forklift from the front driveway, right?
Not quite, but it's way over 100 pages.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How does the group printout help you?
Enormously, Cole, because we're able to look through that and identify the people that are keen about building a business.
Mm. Well, I want to talk to you about that in a moment, but first, how about briefing us on the bonuses? Because you've got them down off pat.
Sure. Well, the bonus structure runs from 4% right through to 21%. Mm-hmm. And as you achieve those different levels, you know, you get paid accordingly.
OK, now around 16 or 20% people start having doubts. Well, I suppose after they've been in the business for a while, they don't. But at the early levels, they say, oh, what will happen to me if I introduce somebody and they reach a higher level than I do? And what if they get close? They worry that they'll lose the benefit of having done it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. People get this feeling that, because we have a term we talk about breakaway.
Yes, and it makes you feel as though the person's going to break out of your group or something, and you lose the joy of it.
Yeah, well, their points volume does tend not to be counted in your group points. That part's true. But what we've got to consider is this: when someone's at the 16% level, you're at the 20% level, because you always get paid the difference. See?
Yes.
You're obtaining a 4% override on their volume.
Yes.
Now, when they go to 20%, obviously there's no difference left there.
Right.
So then you move up to the next bonus structure, and we call that the career bonuses. And when you get there, the company will actually pay you 5% on their entire volume of that breakaway person. So what would you prefer to have, 5% or 4%?
Okay, you win. That's wonderful.
But that's not the main reason, though, why we encourage people to become group director as quickly as possible. There's a more important one, because when a person reaches group director, that's kind of like, that's a pretty good achievement.
It is.
And they feel more important, and then they become more independent in their own right. And then you can get busy about helping more groups through to that same level.
Okay, that's good. Take us through a couple of the other bonuses.
Yeah, let's get right down to basics. The first one's 100 points. If you order a minimum of 100 points, that's the level where the company pays all the handling charges, and it's also where the bonuses start, of course.
Okay, I can do this one. I know where you're headed. Then you need to get the group, the bulk savings bonus at 200 points, where you get a 3% extra bonus that takes you to 7% on your own order. Is that right?
That's right. Obviously,
you do it in one order.
Yeah, if you do it, that 200 points in a single order, because what happens, it's obviously more economical for the company, isn't it, if they can do a larger order rather than several little orders during the month.
I worked that out very quickly, and we started placing 260-point orders so we could get a 9% bonus. That doesn't take you long to work that one out, does it?
You're a good man. Cole, you're right on that money real quick. There was another one...
that? Keith Jenkins said, I'm a good man.
You were too quick. You beat me, and there was another one on the 100 points I wanted to tell you about. And this is one the company's put in there as an encouragement for new people when they're starting off in particular. And they'll pay you an extra 4% again, over and above this bulk savings situation, where if you order a minimum of 100 points, every new person you introduce, they'll pay you 4% on their personal orders for their first 6 months in the business.
I like that, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, you got to get into these things really early for it to be any good. And this company looks after the latecomers just as well as the early comers, doesn't it?
Well, that's right. They're very unique, our company, because they pay special attention to looking after people just starting off, because it can make quite a difference in the early stages, whether your bonus is going to be $20 or $40, that extra 4%.
So there are no late comers, are there? That's great. You really are working with people at an equal opportunity.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Okay, more bonuses?
Yeah, I guess another one would be the book and tape program. Often people see the book and tape, now that's going to cost me money.
Yes.
Well, it does in the sense you're investing in the business, or investing in yourself, really, because it gives you ideas. But the thing about it, the company actually pays you points, well, counts points and pays your CV for just using the book and tape program yourself. And more importantly, of course, you'll get the benefits from it and encourage your members to be on it.
Oh, I see. It could conceivably get to the point where the number of people in your group using the book and tape program actually pays for your own book and tape program.
Oh, very quickly. That's very achievable. But for the big dollars, I can see that little glint in your eye. There's a thing called the...
It's catching.
There's a thing called the top producer bonus.
Right.
Now, the company actually calculate this one for you. Every month they award, each calendar month this is, they award whoever has created the most new business for them, Australia-wide. So you might introduce Sam here in this state, for example. He introduces his mate in another state, and all the business that accumulates in that month, they keep track of that. And you can actually phone towards the end of the month and even just check and see if you're in the rating, you know, in the top 10. And it's worth $1,000 if you happen to pull off first spot.
Fantastic. All right. And then I know what he's going to... Yeah, you like that, don't you?
You like the $1,000?
Now, I want to get in first. I want to remind you to talk about the 500 Club. There, I got it in first. I knew I would.
It's funny you should ask that, because I've got the sheet here about the hind goal.
Oh, give it to me and I'll hold it for Dan to get a shot of.
All right. Well, as I was explaining to you on the previous segment we did there the other day, the 500 Club is geared to encourage both width and depth in your business.
Right.
And they've got a few qualifications. You need to have a minimum of 3 first-generation members in your group. Now, there's an example, see?
Yes, number 3. First people, there's you. And there's the 3 first-generation members.
Right.
Good.
Now, somewhere in there you need to have at least 1 second-generation member.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you work that out, and each of those have ordered a minimum of 100 points.
Good.
So that comes to 400.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the 500 club. So there has to be a 5th person there somewhere. Now, here's an example where that person number 4, they're introduced the 5th person, right?
OK, let's go through them all. This is number 1. He's introduced 3 first-generation people by the rule.
Yep.
And his first person has got on with the business and introduced 2. So he's got 1 at second generation and an extra 1 at second generation. There's his 5. He qualifies for the 500 club bonus.
And number 2 example is very similar, isn't it?
Yes, the first person introduced 1, second person introduced 1. And the third...
this one down here, see?
OK, this is number 3 here,
Yeah, we
Keith.
covered that
See,
one.
I thought you knew about numbers. Oh, I see, he's going ahead, right? I've been told, haven't I? Number 4 is... bit of... I don't like that organisation much. It's a bit too wide and not deep enough, isn't it?
Oh, well, we need a bit of both.
Yes.
But that's the other way you can do it, by putting in some little bit more width yourself.
OK, terrific.
Now, there's a few conditions. They need to order a minimum of 100 points each.
Mm-hmm.
For leadership purposes, you need to have attained a minimum of 200 points yourself in that same period. Now, the important thing, this one isn't on a calendar month. This is based on a 4 consecutive week period.
Ah.
So a person starting right away now can start whether it's the middle of the month, the end of the month, the first of the month.
Excellent. How long would it take a person to qualify for that, do you think?
That's a good question. Certainly don't look at it as being a 4-week project. To give you an example, we've just, about a week and a half ago, got a person going down south. And within 2 days, I spent some time working with this person, doing some meetings and things, and they got that within a 2-day period, achieved that.
Wow,
so you don't
2
have to
days?
wait. Yeah, that's right. But that's only part of the story, because see, you've already created...
Oh, when he creates a winner, he does a good job, doesn't he?
You create some momentum. And I left him a target. I said, now, before the 4 weeks is out, I expect you to have done that 4 times. Now, so far, within the next 7 days, he had doubled it and done it a second time.
Go on.
So that was pretty good. But the most important part of the whole lot is one of the first members we helped him introduce, that person has also done the same thing. They've got the same qualification.
No, well done. That's good.
Well, you did ask me, didn't you?
I did.
I guess I should tell you about the fun bonus. We've got one of them too.
Yes. The fun bonus?
Yeah.
Oh, OK.
Yeah, you can... what happens, the company have this program where each year we have an overseas breakaway. And sometimes people can look at that and say, well, I wouldn't qualify for that one. They think, well, all the sort of the Jerry Crockfords or the goers in the business might get that. But we've had people who have actually joined the business and in that same year have achieved that overseas breakaway trip. And it's not like a thing you win, it's a thing you earn. Everyone has the same target to shoot for. So we'd encourage every new person to go for that incentive. Now, the other great thing about it, there is a situation if you don't quite make the full qualification that year, new directors that come on as a result of that effort can be counted into the next period.
Oh, OK, that's marvellous. Look, he's only just started. He's barely wound up. Give him an encouragement. We'll talk to him again in a second about the ambassador plan. Good on you. This is good. That's good value.
One of the extra bonuses of ordering 100 points yourself is the sponsor bonus plan. To encourage you to develop good habits of sponsoring and caring for the people you introduce, the company pays you an extra 4% on the orders of the people you introduce personally for their first 6 months. This can mean anything from a few dollars a month to hundreds of dollars a month, provided you order that 100 points a month yourself. Remember, it is for the first 6 months of new members you personally introduce, so take advantage of the sponsor bonus today by finding someone with a dream. Help them to place regular orders and help them to share the idea with their friends.
When someone in your organisation has a group volume of 5,000 points, they are at the 20% bonus level as well as yourself. At this point, they become a breakaway, and this is where you earn the first of the career bonuses. As long as you have the required group volume of 3,000 points, separate from your breakaways, you are paid the career bonus based on the turnover of the breakaways in your organisation. Full details are in your career manual.
All right, don't encourage him too much. He's far enough ahead as it is. Talk to us about the ambassador plan, please, because I know you're able to do it in a succinct way and think about it succinctly, but for many people thinking about being an ambassador, 20 directors, that'll never happen to me.
Well, I guess, Col, it's a bit like eating an elephant. How do you do that?
With difficulty.
Yeah, but you do it one bite at a time, see?
Fair enough, fell in for that, didn't I? Go on.
Well, that's what we've basically done with this ambassador plan. We said, well, look, that's the ultimate goal, and how do we get there? We just do it step by step.
Okay.
And think about it this way, 20 directors, 2 new directors a year, 10 years' time, you're there.
10 times 2 is 20, you're right.
Spot on. Well, the group printout comes into play here again, Cole, because, see, we get that thing every month, and I start looking at it for people that I believe I can identify that could be potential business builders.
And they're the things that Scott talked about. They're the people who might be on the book and tape program.
Definitely.
And who are sponsoring other people.
Yeah, I look for the number of new members that they've introduced. And the third one is actually their own personal product usage habits.
Okay.
Because if you see they're ordering the products well, that's a good point.
Because you don't necessarily know these people, do you? They could be 2, 3 states away.
Don't know them at all in many cases. It's quite exciting, actually. You give them a phone call and they're quite impressed to be getting a phone call from someone a long way away and they don't even know who it is.
Keith Jenkins rang me. I must be important. When you became Diamond, you hadn't sponsored all the 10 directors, had you, personally?
We'd sponsored 3 of them.
And the other 7 were down other leg somewhere, down near the knee or something, were they?
A couple out on the tip of the little toe.
Were they really? How far away was...
Well, we call it, it's like working a gold mine, really, and I do. I treat that, our group printout, like it's a little gold mine, but it'll only yield to the extent that you dig in the thing. And we have a little saying called the 80-20 rule, and it's very easy sometimes to get taken up with trying to help people that really aren't the gems you're looking for, the people that don't want to be helped.
Right.
So what we do, we look for the active people. Now, regardless of where they're placed within your group, and I've actually drawn out a little chart here to give you an example. You can see our company is very unique in the fact that we don't have retail customers as such.
Yes.
See, I might show the business to someone, they're not interested in the business, but they say, I would like to use the products. And we call
Particularly
that
for a health reason or something like that.
Yeah, whatever, right? That's Jill there, for example. Well, they just might really like the washing powder or the shampoo, I mean, anything. Jill, in turn, has got a friend called Bob, who also is very interested in the products. However, Bob stubs his toe or introduces his brother, who's really keen on the business side.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this fellow here called Ron...
Excuse me, you have to stub your toe to get interested in the business? You know, I'd gladly break a leg. No, well, that's a silly thing to say,
That's a painful way to do it, yeah. So that's Ron there. Now, obviously, Bob can't give Ron a lot of help as far as building a business is concerned. So when I get my group printout, if I'm on the ball, I can identify Ron has a need there. So I zoom right down there and deal directly with him.
Okay.
Now, when I say deal directly, I ring him up, tell him when seminars are on and those kind of things, and maybe arrange to have a business builders meeting with him.
Excellent.
And you can see how that can go further, Sue. Ron might introduce Sue, and then she might have a couple of product users in there. And then we come right down here to Jeff. Now, Jeff could be 10 or 11 generations away from you.
Is that where you found some of yours? Some of those other 7 directors? Were they a few generations away?
Oh, certainly. I've actually did a meeting with someone not so long ago, and they were 17 generations away from us.
17?
That's right.
Right down under the toenail.
Yeah, well, we'll put it this way, you do whatever's necessary to become successful, isn't it? There's no such thing as a hard and fast rule, so look, you go to... Some people look at the career bonus chart, and because it stops at 5 generations, they think, well, what's the point of helping someone down there? Now, that's a pretty selfish sort of an attitude. That's the way I see it.
Fair enough.
But you don't want to be caught up here. See, there's depth and width in our business.
Yes.
Now, we've seen other people get caught up, get so excited about this growth happening in one leg at the expense of not having enough width. And we have a saying that says you should always be working on at least 3 active legs in your business.
3 deep or die, is that right?
Well, it's better than that. 3 business builders deep or die.
Right.
Not just the first 3. Now,
You notice something, you can never out-saying Keith Jenkins.
Well, you did ask me. It's the same thing with width, Cole. Sometimes people say, well, that's great, I've got my first 3 people in, now I'll just sort of watch this thing all happen. You need 3 active legs. So you might have to introduce 15, 20 people. And I encourage our members to keep working with a person until they get to about that 12% level. That's if they want to be worked with, of course. And see, occasionally we've had members fall in this situation where someone's just about to go director and all of a sudden there's a big flurry, or someone about to go 20%. There's a big flurry because they're struggling to get this 3,000 points And the mentality is they're thinking on the 3,000 points, where if they would have been working on building a business with some width, it wouldn't have happened.
Yes, you hate that, don't you? I've heard you on this before. Somebody says, oh, it's 5,000 points for three consecutive months to be 20%. And after that, it's easy because you only need 3,000.
That's terrible.
Why is it terrible then?
Well, in our own particular situation, we had our first two 20% legs both broke away in the same month. But it was nice because we had 14,660 points still outside of those two legs.
Wow.
Only because we'd been building...
Did you hear that? 14,600 points outside. Isn't that great?
And 60. Because we'd been working that width, and I still apply that principle today.
Fine. The Ambassador plan has got a fairly exciting little package in it. The $200,000 Mercedes, leased for 2 years. When your group's $1 million points, the 100,000 cash bonus. That's pretty fantastic. Is that what drives everybody?
No, I wouldn't believe so. But I've got to admit, it was very exciting when we achieved the first car.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's like flying a plane, Cole. I'm not a pilot as such, but I understand for a plane to take off, they go at full throttle.
Yes.
And they keep that throttle on until they get the altitude they specifically want.
Right.
And then they can afford to ease off. And I guess that's what happens in this. People pick the level that they want to shoot for. It might be the silver level, for example, or the gold.
And I guess I can hear John Smart saying, look, don't force people to a level they don't want to go to. Set a level for yourself. And if people want to stay at 4, 6, 8%, then that's fine. It's the law of attraction lets them come up, true?
But I tell you what we have observed, though, people's belief increases depending on the size of their bonus. They get their first bonus at 6%, they think, oh, maybe that 10% will be all right. Then they get to 12 and...
I've experienced that, have we? Good.
The products even work better. But it happens in the career bonus structure too. When people do get to that director level, the bronze seems, hey, yeah, let's go for this, and then silver and so on. Because we have those other bonuses. For example, silvers and above, there's an annual bonus, a producer's dividend that they can qualify for.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about the car and that. But I guess the other thing over and above all this is the fact that this is something you're building for the future.
Yes.
For your family, for your children, a particular organisation, because the income is willable. These career bonuses, once you've established that, it's there for all time.
I read that in the legalese, in the career manual, how that works. It's very simple and very straightforward, very generous, really. I think the way this has worked out, the bonus system and the Ambassador plan, it's extremely generous and very Australian, very fundamental to growth, isn't it? It must be so inspiring to be well into it and knowing that so many other people are well into it behind you. You find that satisfying at a personal level?
Sure. And in our own particular situation, having achieved the level we have is great, but I feel a bigger fulfilment now out of helping other people through to those levels too.
It is, and we're going to talk to you in a little while about managing your time, because I think we'd all like to know how he fits it all in, wouldn't we? All right, we'll see if we can get Auntie Colleen in here to tell us a few home truths. Would that be all right? And we'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us. There's some more exciting things to come even yet.
One of the exciting features of the career bonus plan is that a first-generation breakaway doesn't necessarily have to be personally sponsored by you. Here we see there are several members in this leg who are using the products but for one reason or another are not actively building their business. On the fourth generation, however, there is someone who builds a 5,000-point business and breaks away. Because you have the minimum 3,000 points group volume required, you are paid the 5% of that breakaway's turnover by the company. This means that your first, second, third, fourth generation breakaways and so on could be 20 or more generations away from you, and you would still get paid the career bonus. It's big, it's exciting, and the possibilities for a large, secure income are huge. Check your career manual for more details on how to develop your career income.
Are we having fun? Yeah! Oh, good-o. Now, Dan, if Marcus yawns again, I want you to catch that, all right? We'll have you out on your ear, Mr. Wayshake, with your jug and your lid. They say behind every powerful man there is an even more powerful woman pushing him forward. Is that true in your case? Mrs. Colleen Janke, please welcome Colleen. Just catch a shot of these lovebirds holding hands. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Now, is it true, Colleen, are you the powerful one pushing this man forward?
I don't think so. Keith doesn't need any pushing.
Aren't I surprised to hear that either? That's good. Colleen, you see your business as very much a family business, don't you? I've changed brands, by the way. I'm onto pink now. I drank my white one. It's good. You see it as a family business, don't you?
Yes, we like to have our family involved with the business.
And one of your boys helps you with parts of your seminars and so on?
Yes, Andrew likes to be involved with the audio-visual part of our seminar, and he's a great help to us.
Actually, the girls get involved as well.
Do they?
Just in different areas. Yeah.
You have 3 children, don't you?
Yes.
Does Keith ever see them?
Yes. I think that basically comes down to time planning. We find that very important to plan our time carefully each year. We like to
Each year?
Yes, for the year. A full year, we like to plan our year.
Goodness me, how long does that take?
Oh.
A couple of days? You'd sit down and over the Christmas holidays or something?
Yeah, basically that's the deal. We actually have a wall planner on the chart at home, and I even sort of have one in my diary. One of the first things that goes in that Cole's always the holidays. And rather than sort of have one big long holiday once a year, we try to have some breaks during the year as well as a couple of weeks over Christmas or what have you, see. So,
you say that's the first thing you put in the diary, not the meetings and
No, time off first, family time first.
Because you see the business as a servant to your family?
Definitely.
OK, and what about when Keith sees you and the children? I ring him and he's all over the place. He's in Perth one week, he's in Wagga the next. Sorry, can't find Keith, he's on the way to Brisbane again for a meeting. How do you find him? I know, delightful. Yeah, well, that's her problem.
I guess what he's trying to get at's our time, what days we have.
We do. We take Sunday off. That's our family day, and that's important. We like to keep that day off for family commitments.
Righto. And what about eating together? Do you try to set meal times? You know, you have to be seated by 5 or anything like that?
No, we'd like to be, we're a little bit more flexible in that area, but we do like to sit down together as a family. Breakfast is a good time to do that, and at least a meal time in the evening if you can.
Good, eh?
But we always sit down to breakfast together.
Great. You need some tools to accomplish all of this. The career manual has a couple, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a good starting point. In fact, when I first became involved, I wasn't right into diaries and that kind of thing so much at all, really.
Weren't you really? I would have thought you would be the, somebody saw you and said, oh, he'll be good, he's organised, I'll get him involved.
A few surprises in the store there. Seemed me tempting to do some of my first meetings in shorts and long socks and things I really didn't know a lot about.
I'd like to see somebody roll up to one of his meetings in socks and shorts, wouldn't you? That'd be good.
They'd only do it once.
He stands at the door with a razor and says, you get that beard off, you're not coming into my meeting.
Did you hear that story too?
What's this?
This chart here was one that actually...
Can I hold it? We'll just get the guys to have a look at that.
Yeah, I guess you could. We use this one quite a bit.
No, I'm holding it. You talk, I'll hold.
You take all the fun out of it, Colin. But what we do, Sunday, for example, we block that out as our day off.
Yes.
And the next thing that goes in is any regular family commitments you might have, like music with the children or some sports commitment. So we block in regular family times that you're not prepared to sacrifice at this point in time.
I am astounded the number of people that really don't think about their time, and they say they never have enough time, yet they have just as much as you and I, 168 hours a week.
Yeah, well, 24 hours a day or whatever it is. Yeah. You've really only got to work this thing about 23 hours a day.
Slipped that one by me, didn't he?
But, Cole, what happens after that? Obviously, you've got to put in your regular work commitments. You have a job. The boss's time is important. You need to be faithful to him in that area, so you put those times in. Then there might be regular business activities, like there might be a function on in your town or
the
a
boss.
product
I mean,
night.
if you're a part-time person or you haven't gone into this full-time like
yeah,
you,
for sure.
So you put down your own 9 to 5 hours with the boss.
Yeah. And then commitments that are advanced life foods commitments or word-of-mouth marketing commitments that you can't alter, like if there's a product night on or a function on, see? So you jot those times in and then you look at the spare times.
OK, do you have much spare time in your family, your household?
As much as we want to make, Cole.
Do you?
That really is our choice. We've got goals we've set even further, and surely it's worth it. We say a 2 to 5 year commitment. That's the sort of commitment we've put into the business, and then we believe then we might be at that cruising level we're talking about where we can take it a bit more at our own pace. One of the things we have done, though, I've invested in a pager and a mobile phone, so...
That's how she keeps track of him.
It's really great. I can call him up and know just where he is and...
I'm checking.
Tea's on the table. You get home from Brisbane right now. You got 5 minutes. That's right. And you share the home duties too, not only with the children. Keith, you take your part, don't you? Well, next question. We have...
He's really good at eating the food.
Oh, good on him.
My strength isn't in the kitchen side of things.
In planning a year ahead, you also plan to involve the children in future programs, don't you? In trips and things?
Well, the overseas trip's a very good example of that. They're planning to join us on the overseas trip this year when the formal convention part's over there. They're really looking forward to that, counting the days down.
Colin, do you find that's an incentive for them to put up with a little bit of jiggery-pokery in their own schedules to help get to that level?
I guess so, but they don't really have to jiggle too much. We find that the business fits in around them because we work from home.
Excellent.
One other little point I'd make there, Cole, is the fact that we also reward ourselves some odd times. We might just go and have a night away or a weekend away.
Do you?
Yeah, it mightn't even be totally planned when you think, oh, look, there's nothing really heavily booked in here, and just go and have that quick little zip away just to sort of recharge the batteries, if you like.
OK, fantastic to talk to you. Thank you, Colleen. And we're glad that not only in the business you set as a great example, but you do that as a family as well. People can look and say, well, their family's still together. You see so many people who have a lot of money and they have hassles and their family falls apart. You're really a great example of bonding the family together. We're proud of you. Thank you. Please thank them. We'll take some product tips in a minute, but give them a nice warm hand. Look at some people who in the front row over here have a tip about soft clean. I think that gentleman there with the smiling face.
Yes, we like the soft serve because it's we have a choice.
Soft serve, I didn't know we're into soft serve these days. Poor lad's a bit nervous. Go on, hit us with the soft clean, I think we're trying to talk about, aren't we?
We like using the soft clean because we can mix it to the strength that we like. That's very good.
OK, so you can have it in the bathroom or the shower or whatever. The next one, please.
And if you use it in the shower, you get no mould.
How do you use it in the shower? I find that it runs between my fingers before I get it to my face.
No, you put it on a sponge and wipe it on yourself.
A sponge? I never thought of that. OK, and next one, please.
It's really terrific for hand washing smalls.
Small what? Uh-oh. Right, next, please. Where are we? Next, up the top. Thank you.
It's great as a bubble bath for the children. Why should they have all the fun? We used it in the spa on New Year's Eve.
I think it's time we got to a commercial break and got out of this before we got any deeper into it. Thank you. We'll be back in a minute.
Bigger than Banner, wilder than a Queensland cyclone, as full of goodness as a bag of Heighton-Brot bread mix, more fun than a circus. It's National Convention in Queensland, with 3 full days of seminars, workshops, great speakers, tremendous fellowship, late-night partying and a banquet extravaganza. The date is in the latest magazine, so lock it into your diary to be at the Conrad Hilton on the Gold Coast. Plan to be there with your partner, with your friends. Make that lots of friends.
These people are giving me a very hard time, and I'm glad you're not here because you'd only make it worse. We're going to have a look at shopping, and comparative with our products, we'll look at some products from the supermarket. We asked somebody to take $200 and go to the supermarket for us, and she found that it wasn't exactly the enjoyable experience that it's made out to be. First job you do in the supermarket, of course, is try to find a park. It's a worry. Now, I think I'll try to park in this spot. No, not that one. Oh, I think we'll try one more time. 1, 2, 3. No, I can't get in there. Let's go round again. Oh, here she comes. She's found a little spot next to that man there. No, the man's in the way. How come every time I come around this block, there's somebody else coming the other way? Now we've found ourselves a nice little park there, and right by a trolley too. What good news. We'll take out the bag, put it in there. Now bend in to get the little fella. But around the corner, there's always danger. That nice young man's coming to take away the shopping trolleys and leave our shopper without any visible means of transport. Yes, you tell him, love. That's exactly what I do. Oh, look, there's a break. We finally found ourselves a nice trolley, and Junior's hopping on. No, he's running away. He's off and he's running. He's hiding. He's hide and seek. Grab him and put him in that seat. Well, I guess you've had an experience like that once or twice in your life, have you? Yeah. Well, our good shopper has found herself, this time, a trolley with a mind of its own and a passenger with no mind at all. And off they go. I knew there was a reason why I bought them that ball. I wish I could think of it right now, though. Here we are in the car park. Now, four-wheel drive suspension trolley has got trouble with its front fluid drive. She's finally finding the keys and get this job over and done with. Oh, ice cream from both ends. That's the best way to take it, isn't it? Yes, and look at Mum. She's doing her weightlifting, practising for the shot put in the Olympic Games. That's the way. I've finished with this ice cream thing. I'll chuck it at Mum. There we go. Now get him into the car. Get this trolley and shove it. It's a lot of fun. Well, there are some women here who can help us understand the shopping experience a little bit better and make it easier for us. I want you to welcome 3 women. The first is the Product and Development Manager Extraordinaire, Val Weekly, along with Sandy Crockford, whom you met before, and Janice Smart, looking rather tranquil without the boyfriend around, I can see. Good on you. Thank you. Val, just explain to us what the objective here with all the goodies is, please.
Well, Colin, we've brought these in to show you that what you buy in the supermarket you can replace with Advanced Life Foods products. Very often you only have to buy 1 Advanced Life Food products to 3 or 4 of the ones that you buy in the supermarket, and that's the purpose of showing you today.
And I know why Sandy wants to be included in this segment, because it's about the business, isn't it? The more of these products we're consuming and setting the model for our group, the better it is. And we need to start. I can start straight away. 2 of these little fellas and 10 of their brothers and sisters are replaced. 12 cartons are replaced by just 1 bag of Waylite.
That's right.
Now, that's environmentally satisfying, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, because you can replace your ordinary everyday milk or your modified milks with Waylite. That's very good.
OK, and this, of course, is just a direct substitution. That's bright, clean substitutes for the ordinary detergent. It's fine. And here's another obvious one. There's a direct substitution of ice cream and Whey Delight.
That's right.
This is the 2-litre box.
That's right, except that that one is equal to 3 of these.
6 litres in the one packet. So again, oh, they like that.
They like that.
But you do have to start with at least 1 of these, so you can order, so you've got something to freeze your Whey Delight in.
No. Use containers that are in the kitchen.
Oh, you're nasty, aren't you? You're not going to let anybody buy anything.
And the good thing is it doesn't melt on the way home from the supermarket either.
Good point. All right. OK. Wonderful. You've got a lot of fans here, you 3. It's wonderful. Now, I'd like to offer you a challenge, the 3 of you, really. Looking at a packet of Weggs and a dozen eggs, we're not having a direct substitution here because price-wise, we've got, what, 40 eggs in here?
Yes.
And that's 3.5 dozen, roughly. What's the price of a carton of eggs, Sandy?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't bought eggs for ages.
That'd be right. Why did I even ask her? Janice, what's the price of a carton of eggs? Do you know?
Well, I think the last time I looked in the supermarket, it was around about $2 a dozen.
OK, so we've roughly got about $7 and something for the eggs. And as we make this show, the current price being $17. Now, how do you justify that radical difference?
Well, Weggs are cholesterol-free, you see, and they're an egg replacement, whereas whole eggs have got cholesterol. And if you're watching your cholesterol level, or if you simply just want to cut down on cholesterol, then Weggs is an obvious choice.
Sandy, what's your feeling?
A business point of view, I'd have to say that I use Weggs in our home because it increases our turnover, and hence our group will do the same and use it in their homes, and it's very important for general turnover in our business.
And all the people said, yes, 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 that's right. Janice, tell us a bit about Weggs, how you see the value of them.
Well, I find them very versatile because there's so many things that you can do with them. You can make your quiches, your scrambled eggs, your baked custards, your cakes and biscuits, and they're always there in the cupboard.
And there's one other thing about Weggs and eggs. There's nothing much you can do with 3.5 dozen eggs after you do that with them. Rightio, Val, can we move on? Sandy, show us what you've got there with the luncheon wholesome alternative.
With the wholesome alternative, it replaces a whole lot of the small goods range, and you can make your own sausages, patties, hamburgers. You can use it instead of breadcrumbs for rolling, say, with the chickeny, your chicken wings in it. You can add it to gravies, and it makes a nice thick gravy.
Well, that's certainly versatile again.
It's a meat extender too. You can add it to your rissoles to bind your rissoles up.
Val, I noticed on the back of this packet there are a whole lot of ingredients, chemicals and other natural products as well.
Yes.
Are there things in this sort of meat sausage that there aren't in our products?
Yes, very definitely. There are things in that aren't in ours. For instance, we're very careful to choose ingredients that are free of allergens, that people with food sensitivities don't have a problem.
Okay.
So that particular product is geared that way. Whereas you'll find with products like this, it might have nitrates in it, it's a preservative, and that sort of thing for food-sensitive people is really a no-no.
All right. People are a bit nervy about the listings on the backs of packets because they've been told to watch out for them. There are all sorts of nasty groovies floating around in packets that we don't want to get involved with. And did you write the Healthy Living Manual?
Yes, I did.
I like the way you tackle that head-on by explaining what all the ingredients of our products are, word for word. It's a great description, isn't it, in the manual. Val, I like particularly, because people get a bit oversensitive, they'll look at the back of one of ours and say, oh, it's got a lot of chemicals in it and that, it can't be that good for you, it's all processed in that. You met that man, have you? Yes. Yeah, and his cross little wife, I know, the both of them. I like the way you describe a particularly nasty thing that people are addicted to, full of awful chemicals, and it turns out, like you said, an apple. So you've got to be careful about looking at lists and saying not all lists are full of nasties.
That's right.
Okay.
And for that very reason, that's one of the reasons why we choose the particular type of ingredients we do. We're very careful about it so that we have really naturally derived ingredients
Excellent.
and additives.
All right. Janice, will you say something else, Sandy? No, just Janice, all right. Janice, tell us about the basket. You're going to do the whole lot?
Right, now what I'm going to show you is just our soup bases. And there's so many things that you can do with them because they replace things like your gravy and your soup and your casserole bases, and there's just so many things that you can do with them. They're not just a soup base. And there's 4 different varieties, so that gives you heaps of ideas of what you can do with it. And again, it's always in the cupboard.
How much of the things in that basket from the store are replaced by the soup bases?
All of them.
Oh, really? A great big shopping basket full of things.
You can replace with the soup base.
Well, 4 little packets. Yeah. Nice.
And another good thing is that you don't just use the products by themselves, you combine them with other products as well. And quite often I'm using 3 or 4 of our products together in different combinations to make all sorts of interesting meals.
I see, though, to be fair, some of that I see that packet is a beef stroganoff and something else is a chunky soup. Of course, you need to add the potatoes or the pumpkin or whatever.
You add your own fresh ingredients to go with them, yes.
Good-o. Sandy, what about the bread, please?
Well, with the bread mixes, the range of bread mixes replace all kinds of things like sliced bread, bread buns, but one thing people don't think of quite often are the pita breads and the pizza bases.
You can't get out of there, can you? Somebody locked you in.
They did, but there it is.
Pita breads, what did you say, pita breads, pizza bases?
And pocket breads.
Fine, you can make all of those with a bread mix.
That's right.
And there's 2 whole loaves of bread in there.
Yes, of course. All right, the bathroom products, please. The bathroom, kitchen, household laundry.
Right. What often happens when you open your cupboard at home, you've got a whole heap of products to clean all the different things in your house. And yet we can replace that with just 3 products, our multi-clean, our hygiene clean, and our soft clean.
Multi, hygiene, soft clean. Go on, tell us some of the uses that we can, or some of the replacements we can make.
Well, your spray and wipe, your Jif, your bathroom cleaner, all the different things, your carpet cleaners, anything like that that has to do with cleaning in the house, you can replace with one of those products.
Excellent, yes, that's a whole basket full of things replaced by some little spray bottles or pump bottles.
That's right.
Excellent. Soaps, we mentioned soaps, you can replace hard soap?
Yes, with our soft clean, you just mix it up to the concentrate recommended on the side of... We have dispenser bottles that they're used with, and you just mix it up as recommended, and you can use it in the shower, as we've already heard.
Yeah, excellent. And I wanted to mention, on the fair side of all of this, we brought up the price comparison with eggs and whegs and decided that it wasn't a fair comparison because we're comparing eagles with ostriches. They're just different things. Same family, but they're different, aren't they? Yes. But in the case of multi-clean, if people really wanted to be pernickety about pricing, well, multi-clean has to be an absolute bargain because it replaces lots of things. But it itself, when made up, is what? 40, 50 cents for one of the squeeze bottles?
Yes.
Very economical. Yes. So, really, if you bought Whegs and multi-clean, you'd match yourself out quite nicely, wouldn't you? Okay, that's how it goes. Sandy, just reinforce for us what the products mean to you in terms of business, and I'll get each one of you to summarise on the products if you can.
Well, they're so consumable, and the beautiful thing about them is they're all Australian.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a competition here and see who can get the biggest applause. What's your point, Janice?
I find the products just so versatile and so convenient because they're always in the cupboard.
So that makes the whole system of economics and home economics very important to you too, doesn't it?
Yeah, being quite a bit of phlegmatic in me, I like things to be nice and easy.
Good day. All right. And Val, do you want to make a last comment for us on the products in this segment? You've made it very clear. I appreciate it immensely.
Well, I find with them that it's because they're good for you and because they're low fat and low sugar and low salt and high in fibre that we like them. And they're great to eat.
Good day. That's probably the best recommendation. There you go. Well, I can't declare a winner, so I'll declare it a tie, all right? A three-way tie. You're obviously very valued by these people. We're going to take a couple of tips on how to use and get the most out of Whey Delight. I'll come to a comment from you and Janice, please, Val, after this. Can we have the first one?
I use fresh fruit in my Whey Delight and the kids really love it.
What sort of fresh fruit? Banana, passion fruit? Thing?
Whatever you've got in the fridge at the time.
Oh, all right, that's fine. And another one, please. Fresh fruit. It's sort of make a cassata, I guess, that sort of thing, is it?
Yes,
that's
right.
Next.
A tablespoon of soyavite in the mixture will make it creamy and really yummy.
How much? A tablespoon?
A tablespoon.
Good. And another comment, please.
Yes, if you put a little bit of super sauce in the mixture, it makes it really creamy too.
How much is a little bit?
Oh, anything from a teaspoon to a dessert spoon.
So, you happy with that, Val?
Yes,
okay.
yes, gives a lovely flavour.
Got to check the measurements because people do all sorts of wonderful things out there that Auntie Val doesn't always like. There we go, that's wonderful.
Lemon makes it fluffy and it's so easy to make.
How much lemon?
Half a lemon.
Juice of half a lemon, I dare say, rather than plonk the whole lemon in. Well, it'd be fresh fruit, wouldn't it? All right, Janice, can we have your tip, please?
Right, it's very important to get it just at the right consistency before you beat it the second time, and that comes with practice. But if it has got a little bit firm, just allow it to soften a little bit and then get into it with your electric beater.
OK, thank you. Val, your best tip?
My best one is follow the instructions.
Oh, look at how she says that. Look at follow the instructions, she says, yes. Why?
Well, as Janice said, there is a little bit of a trick to knowing exactly when to beat it up. And the way to remember this little trick is that you can't beat air into water. So when you put it in the fridge for the second beating, it has to be in a semi-frozen condition. And if it's watery or icy, you can't beat the air into it. So if it's sort of soft and plasticky, you can. And that's my best tip, and that's what we describe in the instructions.
All right, thank you. Now, everybody, we will thank them all as we all say, as Val always says, follow the instructions. Good on you. Please thank them.
When you place a single order of 100 points, your products are delivered free and you receive a 4% bonus. Normally, you would receive a 4% bonus of orders of 100 to 249 points and 6% on orders of 250 to 499 points. The bulk savings bonus changes all that. Because you save the company time and money by ordering in bulk in one single order, the company passes the savings back to you. You receive an extra 3% on your bonus. Order 200 to 249 points at one time and instead of 4%, you will receive 7%. Order 250 to 499 points and instead of 6%, you will receive a 9% bonus. Tell all your friends it pays to order in bulk.
Mr. Jenke, you're not singing. I like Whey Light. You drink it in the morning and daylight. It's never too soon to drink it at noon. A drink for you and me. So you drink it again for tea. You drink it again for tea. You drink it again for tea. Oh, you're so sincere about it. When that becomes a smash hit #1, I want all the royalties, and that's that. Our next guest needs no other introduction than the simple words, please welcome Managing Director of our company, Mr. Neil Reid. There you go, sir. You're treated with all the respect a man of 18.5 stone and 6'4" deserves.
Nearly.
Neil, you enjoying the program?
Yes, I am. It's great.
It's good, isn't it? Nice to hear all these people and lovely to have the audience here too. Neil, just trace for us and tell us where our company is today.
When I look back 5 years ago, there were 5 of us.
Is that all?
That's all. And we used to take the orders. We used to write out the orders, then we'd pack the orders, then we'd all load the truck.
Get out.
And we used to spend 3 days a month writing out the bonus checks and folding the statements.
Goodness me.
And today we've got a 008 line. We've got half a dozen girls answering the phone, taking orders. We've got our own packaging plant. We've got a check writing machine, which is great. We've come a long way.
Absolutely. And would you say the company's strong asset-wise?
Yes, it is. If you talk in terms of buildings and computer networks, and you talk in terms of packaging plant, but the real assets that we treasure are our people, our loyal staff and our loyal members.
Absolutely. Well, I guess that really brings us to the whole mission of the thing, because I've seen the staff, I've met the members, and I know that that drives you to work each day. The mission statement is the thing. Can you just tell us where that fits into the overall picture?
Colin, we've got a goal, we've got a dream, and that is to give ordinary Australians extraordinary opportunities. We want to do something for Australia.
That's great. Wonderful. I promised you this. These are the top 7 comments made by John Smart when Managing Director Neil Reid came into his office and said, "You tidy up this mess or I'll throw you and it out the window." All right, you ready for this? These are the top 7 comments, starting with number 7. He said, "Mate." That was it. The 6th most popular comment that was made by John Smart when Neil Reid told him several times to clean out his office or he'd be thrown out the window with it was, "Mate, I'm here to tell you." And the 5th most popular comment made by John Smart when Neil Reid told him to clean it all up or he'd be thrown out the window was, the 4th most popular comment ever made by John Smart when Neil Reid told him to clean up his desk or he'd throw him out the window with all the junk was, "Oh, mate, a thought just hit me as I was driving to work this morning." The 3rd was, "Oh, you're putting me under a lot of pressure here, mate, and, you know, it's a real challenge to me, I can tell you that." That was John Smart's 3rd. And the 2nd was, "Oh, you're a very dear man. I know you was very lucky to have such a very dear hubby as you yourself, but I can tell you it's just not going to happen." And the 1st most popular comment ever made by John Smart when Neil Reid told him to throw his stuff out the window or he'd go along, you know what I mean, was, "Oh, mate, look, you don't know what sort of night I had. I've been out, you know, up 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, having a couple of Diet Cokes and waited a lot with a few people, and, you know, I sounded jealous on the way down." I said to the kids in the morning, I tell you, mate, oh, look, and another thing, I said to the guy I was staying with at the time, it's just... You cannot finish any program without one more act from the major clowns, and here they are, Jerry and John. Thank you, you're a good lad.
Colin.
You like that, did you? We need
Not
to talk.
really.
We need to talk to you guys about getting some momentum into our business. Could you just address us on a couple of points of that?
Well,
Oh, thanks very much.
Gotcha.
Yes, you did. I hate you. Even more.
You'll get over it.
Momentum, it means getting started. You see, I'd be terrified if we're just making this videotape and the others we've made, it's just another thing that keeps people from work. I don't know whether you've ever seen the little poem which says, you know, I've sharpened, straightened my desk and neatened my tie. I've pulled out an eyebrow and peckled my teeth. I've sharpened each pencil till sharp as a dirk. I've run out of reasons for not starting work. Well,
yeah,
that's terrible. I would hate that to happen. So what do we have to do to get started?
We just don't be called a full-time preparation, Colin. The thing is that in all my years of experience, most folk in our business aren't doing anything wrong. They just don't do it often enough. Do you agree with that, Jerry?
That's right. Momentum is, it's all about getting started, you know. Read through the things, but make it happen. Place the order and get things happening. But the key is to pass the momentum on to the next person. And what I mean, when I did my apprenticeship as a technician years ago, they didn't allow me to start work and say, well, go over there and do whatever you want. They said, today we're going to teach you how to do this, you'll be going to college next week, you'll be doing this, because I wanted to be a technician. And in our business, find out what people want. If they want to be able to pay off their home or whatever it is, you say, here's what we do now. And the big key is, go on, you say
that's
something.
That's it. You've got to get people to establish a goal, because that's what gets them out of the sort of preparation mode and get them moving.
Look, I can never have, a sensible conversation with either of you, and secondly, I can never have a conversation with either of you without bringing up goals. You've just got a fixation on the whole thing.
Can I get excited now? I mean, this is really getting down to it, Colin. I mean, this is really, really where it's at.
And you're here to tell me.
Yes, I'm here to tell you and to tell them that the fire in the belly about where you're going is just what it's all about. And I know Jerry and I attended a seminar, and he's nice and logical. Just share us the facts about goal setting, mate, that we learned.
Well, here's a practical how-to on how to do goal setting. Firstly, you get a piece of paper and write down 50 things that you'd either want or to have or become or do, you know, just at random. You know, attend such and such, buy such and such. And then you prioritise them, OK? That's pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah, prioritise 10-year, fair way out, isn't it? But you've got to be serious. 10, 5, 3, 2, maybe down to 1-year goals. Then you pick up the 3 or 4 things that are most important that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months, and you set your sail.
And the key is, you've got to ask yourself, what must I do to achieve that goal? So it's what do I want, when do I want it, and what must I do to get there? And if necessary, go and talk to someone in your support line, your group director, and say, here's what I want to achieve. How do I get there? What do I have to do?
What do I have to give up? There's always an exchange going on here. You know, there'll be a bit of a price. Of course there will be. So, and what am I prepared to give up to achieve that goal?
And here's another key for momentum. Make sure you leave every meeting with the next meeting booked. In other words, if I've been to somebody and helping them get their first order or whatever, I'm then saying, right, let's pull out our diaries and work out when we can get together with some friends to share the idea with them. So you've got to make things happen and keep it moving.
So the key in getting started and momentum is to find some serious people. All right, and you keep sharing the story, you're going to get a few knockbacks. That's core life. You don't cut your wrists. You just get moving.
Here's how you tell a serious person, right? They walk around like this.
No, we've been at this too long. Jerry, how do we identify some serious people, right? I reckon the first thing is they're going to ring you up. They're going to want to ring you up and they're going to want to learn. Tell me more. Tell me how I can get going.
They'll be following the system. They'll be on the book and tape.
Absolutely.
They'll be serious about using the products. They'll be serious about setting their goals and having written goals and so on. So you look for the people who want to go where they want to go.
Well, here's the goals thing again. And that's the whole thing about word of mouth for me, is that it's like a beautiful garden bed from which to sprout your dreams. Right? WOM is not the goal, the end result in itself, but it's a garden bed from which to grow up those magnificent objectives you're going to shoot for.
It's like, you know, I heard Sandy saying earlier that cash to be able to buy some nice clothes and being able to get the nappy service. And I enjoy gardening. Someone mows the lawn. That's where you're going.
All righty.
Yeah, he enjoys gardening, all right. He enjoys getting woken up by the gardener when he appears at 8 o'clock in the morning to do it. Wonderful.
Tell me, we've identified a serious person, we've set our own goals. Why do we want to identify a serious person? What will that do for us? What is our goal in the business? To become group director and you get those people to help us become group director?
Well, I think you've probably got to shoot past that. The first major goal, I think, for a serious person, Colin, is to shoot for bronze director, where you've actually helped... Jerry, come on, you explain it.
If you shoot for group director, it's a bit me-centred. You think, I'm going to be a group director. But smarter is to think, how can I teach someone else how to be a group director?
Oh,
and then you're focusing on teaching other people what to do rather than focusing on what's in it for me.
It's a major, major point. All right, we forget the money truck and love the people. If you go out and you're able to focus on somebody else's goals and, point of fact, fall in love with them, the money truck will just roll up. And Zig Ziglar so long ago now said it so well. He said, you can get anything you like in this life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And that really sums it up.
You know, you know, and in my early days in the business, I had to learn...
Into that again, I'll throw you out.
Okay. I'll be serious now. I had to learn the true meaning of what John just said, is that you gotta be careful. You don't think that everybody wants what you want. When I first started, I thought everybody wanted to have, you know, the big income and this and that and the other. And what I discovered were what some people want from this business is to use the products for their own use and enjoy the healthy lifestyle. Fine, help them get that. Other people want to pay off their house and so on, but the beauty of being goal-centred and helping people get what they want is no one's going to get mad at you. What are they going to say? Gee, Cole's a nuisance, he's always trying to get me to pay off my house early. You know, I mean, it's
Right, so the key thing about this is you must go from where the other person is at on the other side of the table. Right, so you find out where they are and where they want to be and you help them take them there.
Fabulous. So it's momentum as I see it. I think I can summarise all of this. Set your own goals.
Yes.
And let that drive you. Include in one of your goals getting beyond the next step, because that will help you take somebody else with goals to their step.
Absolutely.
Is that it? And then once you get to the bronze stage, there's bringing 2 people up with you. That's double bronze. And
right. And silver, gold, diamond.
Do you think you should also always set a pace just a little bit beyond where you are? If you know, diamond's the next one, you should be looking at executive.
There's something to be said for reaching for the stars, because if you don't quite make it, you'll hit the treetops, which is certainly better than walking down the road.
Great. Well, speaking of walking and treetops, I think we ought to finish this program with my best story I've heard from John, and it's the story about you and Janice in the Yosemite National Park. Could you share that with us?
Yes, if you'd like me to. You've been to the USA, haven't you?
Yeah.
Lived there some time, so you've done the Disneyland thing.
Yeah.
Well, a few hours north of that is a fantastic place called Yosemite National Park, and we were told by some friends that if you go there, you've got to climb the vernal falls. So that's what we did. We got in late in the afternoon, decided we'll take this little trot up to the vernal falls. So that's what we did. But after about an hour, going up late in the afternoon, Colin, something interesting happened. We come to a sign, and it said, this is the last drinking water before you reach the falls. And I started to realise that this was not just an afternoon stroll. And here's an amazing thing began to happen. It started to go upwards. You could see the falls in the distance, and as you got up the steps, you started to puff slightly. But as you looked back, the view got better and better. You could see the ice and the snow on the top of the mountains, the trees. So the further you climbed, the better the view got. So we got right up about another hour, and I tell you, a bit of hard work, a bit of puffing, and we could feel the mist. You've been near a waterfall?
Yes.
You feel the mist of the waterfall on your face. We looked at one another. We'd finished the 3 weeks in California, and we said, well, we've done enough. We've done enough. We've sort of got to the goal. We can see it. Well, didn't stand on the top, but we can see it. That's it. We'll quit. Just at that moment, though, this guy came down and stood on the ledge just beside the set of vertical steps that you climb up to hit the top. He said, oh, the view from the top is fantastic. And I thought, oh, no. So it's like our business, you know, at Bronze Director, somebody comes along like Keith and Colin Jenkins says, the view from Diamond is much better. It spurs you on. So I thought, can't go back to Australia. I can't go back. I've got to climb to the top. So up we went. We climbed, half an hour sweat. Yes, it was an effort, but I'm here to tell anybody that standing on the top of the mountain, the view, looking back down that valley, compared at that ledge, compared to standing on the top, well, there isn't any comparison. The view from the top is just absolutely phenomenal. So I reckon the view from Ambassador is better than Diamond. The view at Bronze is better than 16%. So, magnificent, stood on top of a frozen lake.
Wonderful.
Can I just finish the story now? It's almost there. Coming back down those stairs, yeah, I know I talk under wet cement, but you've got to listen, OK? Well, that's what he said. Anyway, I stood on top of a frozen lake, and here we go. Here's the key to my message, which has driven me for a long time now. When we climb back down the stairs, and we're just about to head off home, it was almost dusk, and up come this group of Japanese tourists. And the leader said to me, oh, now how much further is it to the top? I said, oh, you've got to go on. The view from the top is worth it.
Yeah.
And in this business, isn't it exactly the same, Jerry? The view from the top, it's worth the climb. The view from the top is worth it, so you just keep going till you reach it.
Fantastic. Yes. Wonderful. Well, we've had a fabulous. It's been fabulous as well.
Yes.
We've had a great evening. We've met some wonderful people. Those of you who've never met any of these folks here have had a great treat. You've been right inside their hearts and minds and found out what it's like to be a leader. And the great thing about all of these people is that you would like nothing better than to be replaced by other people with ambition, with a fire in their belly, who want to help others. Because that's what the whole business is about. We heard from Neil that the mission of the company is to develop people.
Absolutely.
And that's wonderful. I would like to talk to you some more, but it's just about run out of tape, so we better say thank you to both of you, to your wives, to everybody else. Please, audience, I want to thank you two for being here, and we'll see you all at the top. How about that? Good on you. Good night.
Don't delay. Finalize your lifestyle degree now and rush it to your group director. As soon as possible, we will have the results back to you with your certificate. Stay tuned now for a thorough run through a lifestyle planner presentation with Cole, Keith, and Jerry. The crowd has gone home, the crew is packing up, but stay tuned while Keith and Jerry take Cole through a lifestyle planner presentation before the lights go out. You can follow the steps one by one and learn to do it like the experts.
It has been a great night, hasn't it? How long have we got till the fellas pull everything to pieces?
About 10 minutes. Do you reckon you can cover the lifestyle planner presentation in 10 minutes? I know it normally takes 45 minutes or something, but reckon you can give us the basic
outline? A couple of real quick things. You don't go racing into the briefcase first thing.
Right.
Keep it simple. Yep. It's a simple message. Follow the guidelines. Just use this as a guideline, so the same message gets passed from person to person.
Okay, and the way you do it will probably be duplicated, so it's better to practice it a bit before you get on camera yourself.
I think even today, I've been in this for long, I still carry around my cheat sheets. So the idea is that person can watch this over, get it worked out, maybe with their group director, and then they've got a guideline.
That might be the very presentation that was showed to you when you joined the business. That's right. So you keep the one. If you show me, I keep that. That becomes my cheat sheet.
If he's showing this to me, I want to know that I can do this too. And it's okay for him to have a cheat sheet. It must be okay for me too.
Okay.
And I generally just set it to the side and just go straight through.
Yep.
Okay.
The basics are you're explaining what lifestyle is. It's a combination of health, time and money. So people can, you know. And then the main thing is we talk about what do people want. Now, we don't sit there and say, what do you want? You know, we say, look, if you had plenty of money and time and good health, what are some of the things, what are the changes you'd make in your life? What are
and
some
I
of the
would list paying off the mortgage, school for the children, and perhaps a second car for my wife and having her leave work, something like that?
That's right, because remember our job is to find out what people want and teach them how to get it.
Okay, by the way, you would, in this encapsulated version, we're leaving out the writing, but you would do that.
Of course,
time
and money, and write specifically what they want.
Good.
As Keith said, if they want to get a motor car, find out what kind of car and how much money they'd need for it.
Now, we're doing this in 2 minutes so far. We might have taken 6 or 7 minutes to warm up yet.
Correct.
Oh, definitely.
We're just going to race through this before the guys pull the cameras out.
Fair enough.
To be perfectly honest, I might even spend 5 or 10 minutes chatting with a person before I even pull this out.
Okay.
You certainly don't sit down and say, g'day, what do you want?
I'm just warming in.
Move on.
Okay, this thing is to make people realise that things cost more and that by having income smaller than inflation, we're moving backwards just by standing still. Basically, these things that they want are being taken away.
And a line like, no matter what Mr Keating tells us, things will always come on. No matter what Mr Hewson tells us, they always cost more.
Yeah, that's right. And the options for people are, we'd write in there, either spend less, which tighten the belt, which is no fun at all.
Righto. Just put an S for reminding me. Spend less.
Or earn more.
Good.
Okay. Then we need, so they can understand what we're talking about, it's good to show people what we're not talking about.
Okay.
Right? So we give them we show what are the ways that you could use to get the things that you want. Or what are the people down the street using? Well, the girl that's gone to work tonight, when she doesn't really want to be there. Why, you know, what are they doing to be able to get the things that they want?
All right, so we would here say things like work a couple of jobs.
2 or 3 jobs.
Overtime, if you can get it.
Pay rise if you're lucky.
Yes, win the lottery. And...
going to selling.
Right, party plan or door-to-door deliveries.
Or go into a business of some kind.
Okay, invest in a business.
With a high capital outlay and all that.
And all those chew into this with the time and the money aspect, right?
Yeah.
Good.
So we're not doing any of those. So that's what we're saying here. Hey, they're the options. We're not doing those. We're doing word-of-mouth marketing.
Right.
And we point out there the simplicity of it, the fact that there is, as Keith says, no paperwork.
No stock.
No stock.
No deliveries.
And no deliveries. You write all that out?
Yep, write it all out.
Oh, as people sometimes say, it looks too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, this might have taken us, if all things go well and you're not racing, you're not pushing, you might have taken, say, 10 minutes to get through that page?
Yeah, 15 minutes, 20 minutes even sometimes. I find this is the most important page.
OK, and Mrs Brown wants to get you a cup of tea, that's all right?
But what they all want to know is this part here, the right plan, how it really works.
Good, do it.
So,
yeah, do that part on the bottom, I reckon that's good. Keith says that.
Well, I just say, look, there's 3 things to success. Number 1, you need a goal, and they've got lots of goals there.
Yeah.
In fact, the more you can get there, the better. I don't stop until I get a minimum of 5. Then we talk about effort.
Yep.
And we'll cover that one later, but right now we're going to look at the right plan. So I pass on that sheet because that's theirs, and we move straight on in. And in the meantime, of course, I just let them see that, hey, I'm following along with the cheat sheet. Just pop it down.
I need that. I lost interest in mathematics at sandpit level.
Good day.
Okay, so this is the system. I might write it there. This is what we do step by step so that you can get what you want.
Fine.
You know? In fact, I would ask people, Cole, of the things that we've written there, which is the most important to you? Which one would you like to work on
Say
first?
the mortgage, house.
Okay,
whatever.
house.
Yeah, OK, guys, about 5 minutes, all right? They're hassling, but we're all right. You're doing fine. Halfway through, aren't we?
Yeah, yep. Okay, so I like to put a monetary value on that. You might say, you know, how much would you need?
Just in round figures.
You know.
Oh, let's say $500 a month if I could pay it off quicker.
Okay, here's how you're going to get the $500 a month. That's very important, Cole. Here's how you're going to get the $500 a month is more important to you than here's how it works.
Good.
All right? Okay.
Great phrase.
Yep. The first thing you do, well, we talk about duplication then, don't we?
Yeah, we'll show how they show their friends the same concept.
You know, you might show Tom this. Why would Tom want to learn this? Well, maybe he would like to get a new car.
Yes.
Why would Sue want to learn this? Well, maybe Sue would like to be able to send her children to private school.
Very important that you write the person's, a pretend person's name and their goal.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. I often don't. I mostly just put the goal. I find that's the most important. I just say you might know a friend who'd like to quit a job. Or have a holiday, and they generally go, yeah.
You know why we're doing that? It's so the person sitting there thinking, realising that, I see, so I'm helping my friends reach their goals. That's
I'm not making money off my friends.
right.
I'm not... Don't
the
go
opposite.
through that
Their
whole
friends
drama.
are making money off them.
Yeah.
And then I just... Obviously, that can carry on. They had the same opportunity telling a couple of their friends.
Shown 2 people. When Sue tells a couple of people and Tom tells a couple of people, that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Draw the circles, put in the number.
Yeah, and then 8, and then 16. If it just they only
Too
told 2
complicated
each.
if you draw it all in, you know.
Good.
The point is, by telling a few, which was 2, you've ended up with 30, which is many. That's what duplication is all about. You explained sometimes about Ray Kroc and the McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, well, Jerry did that story in the lifestyle show.
Yeah,
right.
just point out how it's working.
Burger.
And then I just run through those things there, just point out, you know, the integrity and the quality of the company and how it works, right?
Can run a lead in a minute.
The 008 number and their direct delivery in that. So I just generally draw the arrows in to show
Everyone buys direct from the manufacturer.
Good arrows.
Okay. Now, by everyone buying direct, we've cut out the middleman. There's no need for advertising costs, rent costs on supermarkets, all those other things. So the money that's saved is paid to everybody using the product, and you earn about $300 a month.
Emphasise each one of those lines. Just explain them. Needs you $300 a month, and people's eyes light up at that.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah, well,
sure.
yeah.
Mine did. Hey, $300 a month.
Good.
Just for
Now you would do the same with the 3.
Yep. 3, 9, 27, 81.
And I know what you do. You draw this one extra circle here
right.
first.
That's right. So you've shown Tom, Sue, now you show one more person and teach them to do the same each. Point being, they've now got a difference between 30 and 120 of 90. You've increased by 90 people. What's the difference?
Only showed one.
Yeah, so Keith asked a beautiful question. He said, what's the difference between 30 and 120? People say 90. No, the difference is 1.
Yes, great.
Okay.
All right, now have you put the income in?
Well, it's not bad. You've got your seatbelt buckled up. Okay, it's about $900 a month.
And I know you do all these little cheeky things, and it's nice if you can just make it a bit happier and brighter and a bit of a performance, but if you're not a performer, just work through it faithfully.
Share
It'll come.
Just from your heart.
You do the 5 then?
Yep, 5, explaining down to 780. Serious, ambitious people.
People building a business, because among that coal will always be quite a large percentage who are just happy using the product.
And you put the income in there.
That's the $6,000
Getting into the big money.
Sorry, what was this little square here for? Anything particular?
No,
Yeah, the money back guarantee and
the product benefits and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yep.
Now, this little grey line is quite important, isn't it?
Well, that's to remind you to use the Better Off brochure to talk about home loan.
We have one here.
You know, there's one here somewhere.
Yeah.
Because look, we get the big picture of the $6,000 and the $900, but even $300 used wisely can make a huge dent on a home loan.
Okay,
So it's
you
good to show
demonstrate the
people.
diagram.
Yeah, and I say to people, by the way, you can have a look at that later. Okay,
Yeah.
the full details of it. Okay, and also it's ongoing. We explain the fact that once you've got the business established, the thing keeps moving.
And that it's willable, that's very important.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Yes, you said this to me the other day. Just because you go on holiday, Sue doesn't say, I don't want to send my kids to private school anymore.
That's right. Exactly.
Rightio. So, isn't it time we ask them if we're getting through or is making sense, or they want to be involved?
Completion.
Yeah, because sometimes people at this stage, they really can't see themselves being involved in the business, so you don't force the issue. You say, well, look, you'd maybe like to have a look at the products.
Well, what question do you ask about
I generally just sort of stop and I just say, look, from what we've shown you so far, Cole, can you see yourself fitting in there somewhere?
The answer's got to be yes.
I leave it open-ended. Yeah, if they say yes, I say, well, which one of these incomes attracts you the most?
300, 900 or 6,000.
And you make a choice. Because if you say 300 a month, it's not as important that you have to do some of these things. If you say 6,000, obviously, you're going to
serious.
Yeah.
All right, and if a person says no, then you invite them to look at the products, right?
Yeah, via the shopping catalogue. I go out the car and I bring in my healthy living shopping catalogue. And
Now, that's out in the car. You don't walk into the place with that thing under your arm.
No,
Okay.
but you take them now through this.
Just through the big coloured pictures so they can see there's a wide range and a few of the benefits of each product.
Beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and they couldn't help but be impressed.
Exactly.
And if they want even more information, you can leave them a videotape or some company material.
Say they want to be involved in.
Sure, well, we say, well, here's what we'll be doing together to help you get your house mortgage paid off. And we go step 1, 2, 3. They're self-explanatory, really.
Show others, plug, tape, books and functions, and use the products.
Pretty simple.
And hand me my second sheet of paper and swap your cheat sheets over and keep them under your elbow, right?
Don't leave that on the table.
You're
because
learning fast.
Oh, because people
the
will
guy's
start
wife will
flipping
pick it
through.
up and start reading it. And we'll
Or
make
the
it
wife's
on-
guy will pick it.
That's exactly right.
People that are really switched on the business don't really ask that. They appreciate the products must be good, otherwise the thing wouldn't be working.
Good day.
Yep.
Now, just a couple of minutes.
Big picture.
That big man over there with the light switches.
Can you just hang on a little bit? Has anyone got a candle? Don't turn the switch off. Come on in, Jerry. All right, no, it won't be long. Okay, so we've found the big picture then, which the goal is when you've taught two friends to be a group director. They've got their own group going. They're earning good money, you know, $300, $500, a bit more dollars a
Group
month.
directors is a group about that size on average, Cole.
Yeah. And your friends get real mad at you. They say, gee, I wish that Cole Pierce hadn't taught me how to earn $500 a month. So when you've taught two people how to do that, your typical income is about $15,000 per annum.
And you keep writing onto the third page and use all the blocks that have been provided. Don't give up. Don't feel uncomfortable. Just keep it going.
I've had people, Cole, that have done that and the business just, that can just fall away. It's important you show the big picture. Because
Even if you haven't got that big a vision yourself, you don't know who you're talking to.
Do the 7 to 9. What's that?
It's about 75,000.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 to 14. And it just goes on through the figures, okay, about 130,000. Now, a lot of this, you've got to show the whole picture, and you've got to remember that some people get terrified at the thought of $50,000 a year.
Yep.
All right,
I
they're
guess they
currently
would.
maybe earning 28 and 50. So what I say is, look, do you think with my help, if I help you to show others, do you think we can find 2 to 4 ambitious people if it means you're going to have an extra $15,000 to $30,000 a year?
Well, I'll certainly try.
That's right.
And it's not limited to just 2 a year. I just point out that this is just an example. People are doing more than this even on a part-time basis now that this has all been worked out and we've got more products now than we had in the past and there's role models out there now, see? So this is really a guide.
Okay,
So,
now what?
Well, if people are pretty excited at that stage because they said back here that they were keen, so I just go straight to the day one book.
And guess where we go first?
Guess you show the people about the business action pack, the tools you'll need.
Sure.
Stock in trade. I bet you tell them you used to be a carpenter, used to be a technician, need stuff to do the job. This is it.
You've got a plan, now you need your tools.
Yep. Great.
All right. We recommend the Business Builders Action Pack or Biz Pack.
Yep.
Okay, that gives them everything that they need. Okay, and then we talk about starter's product order.
Okay.
Okay, let's say explain the company has got a suggested first order which gives them a wide range of everything and stress the importance of a 200-point order so you get the bulk saving bonus. So just for ordering, you get a therapeutic check in the mail.
I guess people asking you questions along here, they're starting to say, what's this Yo-Lite stuff and what's Fwigs, what's that? You get the questions?
Well, to a certain extent.
If you expect it, you probably get it. And if you don't expect it, you just won't get that.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. But if you do, well, you answer them. You know?
Okay.
Yep.
Not hiding anything.
No.
It's just, but you do want to move on to this page.
That's right. First thing here, talk about the book and tape program and get that organised so they can get that. okay, because it's absolutely vital for them to get their success. And then, of course, you know, the membership, as I explained to people, put their name and address there because that's where the company will send the cheques to. So you put my name and address there, so I get the cheques. Right. Okay, and just explain about applicant and so on. Look, and all this is, it's like joining the RACQ. In that you get a magazine each month.
Which is useless if you want to join the RAA, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. That's right. Just, all of the above.
And Cole, the other most important thing about all this is their first order, you either post or phone it through for them. And I explained to them this is just the first time. Future orders, you look after yourself. Because if you leave this with them to do themselves, you know, they have all good intentions, but all sorts of things crop up and it doesn't happen.
Or they do it wrong or whatever. You fix it up for them.
And when you do that, then you make that time, as Jerry says, never leave a meeting. You know?
Without
the next meeting book.
So I'd be saying, OK, Kyle, I'll be tearing that out. I'll get that away. Now, let's get out the diary and organise a time for us to get together and bring some friends over or we'll go to their place or whatever and I'll help you to share it with them.
In many cases, the follow-through meeting, you'll go through these steps in the book. Help them reinforce their goals and a list of names, how to invite people. It's all in here. It's all in here. Really, it is.
Now, yeah, great. How does it finish off? Just sort of say a cup of tea and good night?
Yeah, or you might want to leave them with some tapes.
Yeah, and if they don't do an order, sometimes they don't want to think about it. In that case, we'll leave them some tapes, or leave them the videotape, or the shopping
Leave them
calendar.
tape 1 and 2, the tape we're on now?
No, just tape 1.
Okay.
And tape 2 is for people who have made the commitment to be a member. And then we make that date to get back to finalise the order and sort it all out.
Did you hear what he just said? Even though the person wants to think it over, he's still leaving the meeting with the next meeting booked. Oh, you need to think it over. Great. Well, look, let's get together tomorrow night or the night after so we can... You know what I mean? Otherwise, things are hanging in the air and nothing ever happens.
And one thing, sometimes people that haven't made the decision on the night, they say, can you leave an order form with me or this day 1 book or something? I say, well, no, that's really for people. It's like you buy a car or buy a computer. You don't get the manual till you buy the car, do you? Till you buy the computer.
Right.
So you take it away. That is amazing what that does. You leave those pages with them, a better off sheet.
Then you're not perceived as trying to convince the person and throw everything at them. You're saying, hey, no, there's enough there.
Boy, look, I don't know why more people aren't doing it and why we haven't got 85,000 more diamonds in the organisation. I mean, you guys make it so clear, and it's not like you're slick about it. It's very, very simple.
It's a matter of just keeping doing it and believing in what you're doing.
All right.
And if you're in doubt, get in touch with your support line.
And leave each meeting with...
next meeting book. Excuse me, friend over there with the light switch. I'd like to have a meeting with you. Do you think you could run through 3 pieces of paper with me to help you pay off your mortgage? How am I
in
doing?
the market for an extra $500 a month.
OK, come on, we better pack it in. Good on you, fellas. Thanks a lot.
Been good.
OK.
OK. Can you get out of here? Pull the chair out for you.